So this Valentine's Day, my wife was like, let's watch something romantic. And I was like, I have just the movie.
How groovy, just us two, so groovy. Don't forget Scooby-Doo.
We didn't end up watching it. But I did, so let's talk about Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. This movie brings me back to the biggest regret of my life, September 2019. I was not able to attend the Storm Area 51 event. If you know, you know. The Scooby Gang makes their way across the desert. It is the wee hours of the morning and Shaggy is driving the mystery machine as the rest of the gang are in the back catching some sleep. They have a bit of an extraterrestrial encounter causing them to crash just outside of a small town. This small town is full of peculiar people that we will talk about later, and just outside of town is a government facility that monitors radio waves in hopes of picking up signals from extraterrestrial life. So I don't really want to go too much into the plot on this one, as it's not really the highlight of the movie. The mystery is incredibly easy to solve, and all of the plot twists are super obvious when they're foreshadowed. This movie is less about what happens and more about who it's happening to and with. So let's talk about some of the characters that really make this movie work. Of course, we have our crew where Velma, Fred, and Daff are hard at work at solving the mystery, business as usual. But we see a side of Scooby and Shaggy that we haven't really seen before. Scooby and Shaggy are abducted by the titular alien invaders, and after making their escape, they awake in the desert and are greeted by Crystal and her golden retriever, Amber, and thus we have a love story we've not gotten in Scooby-Doo before this. Sure, Shaggy had a girlfriend in Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, but he didn't sing a song about her.
And when it comes to say I do, we'll have a tie-dye wedding.
So much of this movie is dedicated to forming this perfect love match for these characters, then showing us how much that means to Scooby and Shaggy as they begin to not only clean themselves up, but become courageous in times that they'd otherwise cower and run away. Who would have thought Shaggy would instantly fall in love with the hippie wildlife photographer? Sure, there is a little more than meets the eye, but you can't control who you fall in love with.
Like,
That's not where the fun characters stop. Each highlighted character in this small town has a very intentional and distinct personality. Like everyone is someone here. Whether it is a mildly crude waitress at the diner who hits on Fred every chance she gets, or it's a rough exterior of the car mechanic. What good is your alien movie without your conspiracy theorist?
I got pictures.
Oh, paintings.
Let's briefly talk about the trio here. We immediately know they are up to something. It isn't a mystery. In fact, Velma would say,
Wasn't hard.
there isn't really anything to them outside of being wildly greedy. Although I think there's something to be said about their tactics on scaring the locals. I'm not even sure they would need to scare the locals to cover up what they were doing, so I guess these guys are a bunch of whack jobs.
Ooh, you're pretty smart, Velma. Too bad you've made your last deduction.
This movie is entirely a return to form compared to Zombie Island and The Witch's Ghost, and that's because the main antagonist is just some greedy people behind a mask. However, I think it's important that we get back to that at this point in time, and that's entirely because that's what makes the formula work. If they were like, this time, the monster is real, then it would pretty much just lose its touch altogether. Now, I have expressed my love for this voice cast for the Scooby Gang in my Witch's Ghost review, and that remains a constant. Unfortunately, this is the last Daphne performance by Mary Kay Bergman, but they did dedicate this movie to her, which is incredibly sweet. I am dying to talk about the music in this one, because the theme song is sung by Jennifer Love Hewitt.
You're not fooling me, 'cause I can't see.
And the chase song is performed by the Hippos, which if you don't know who they are a ska punk band. This is such a 2000s movie, and I absolutely love it. It doesn't try to be Zombie Island or Witch's Ghost. It's tonally different and focuses on different elements of these characters than those other movies do. Alien Invaders ditches the anime-esque horrors of its predecessors and points out that sometimes when the monsters are real, the monsters are just people. And crazy enough, the aliens are on our side. It really is a nice companion piece to Zombie Island and the Witch's Ghost. The most recent Scooby-Doo movies that we've been talking about have tackled zombies, ghosts, werecats, witches, and now aliens. Where do they go from here? Well, subscribe and find out as we go through every single animated Scooby-Doo movie of all time. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.